What's going on, guys? This is the DeFi Crypto Alliance show where we're doing our best to be the bridge between our fellow real estate investors and entrepreneurs and the cryptocurrency world, where we feel like crypto is the biggest opportunity over the next few years, and it's not even close. So welcome along. It'll be a lot of fun today. Today is our open mic show. Corey dropped the link in the comments already to come and join. And so if you're feeling brave, come and join us. We've got lots of things we could talk about. Corey, take it away.
What's going on? Good morning, Hexacans and Hexacants, whatever camp you're falling into right now. It's an absolutely beautiful day out here in Puerto Rico. Super excited on this Friday. Me and Dane were talking a little bit about how the market feels like the sentiment is starting to shift a little bit, not only in our ecosystem, but also in the more macro like Bitcoin and Ethereum. And it's just exciting to be on this journey with you guys where we can use crypto as that wealth creation tool and have a blast doing it because, man, it's like a 24-hour soap opera. And then use real estate, which is kind of boring, but it's a great wealth preservation tool. And we can lock in those gains and change the trajectory of our lives, our families' lives, your guys' lives, and just have a blast on the way, cut through the noise, cut through the narratives, and really get down the brass tacks and figure out how this game works. So absolutely one of my favorite days is open mic, which is today because we get to communicate and talk with you guys. You guys are what make our show amazing. We thank you, every single one of you that watches us every single day. It's absolutely a blast. And like Dane said, the link is in the chat. Please feel brave and come on. And we want to talk to you guys. We want to meet who our audience is, who our followers are. And of course, as always, we got the myth, the man, the legend on every Friday. Mr. Norbert, brother, how you doing today, man? What's going on? What's good? Tell us.
Very well. Oh man, I'm a bit embarrassed, but it was such a beautiful moment. Like, I opened the notification on YouTube, and there was the link. So I clicked on the link, and I could kind of hearing you what you're talking about. It was so cool, like this very calm and like, yeah, you're like when two real businessmen talk, I feel it. Things are looking good. Like, it was so fun, man. But I was a bit embarrassed, to do this. But yeah, it was a good moment.
Oh, it's
Yeah,
good,
everything is nice, man. Sun is shining, so had lunch, finished work, so I'm a free man. I'm not a slave anymore this week until Sunday midnight.
There you go. Hopefully you'll have a little bit more freedom too when the 2024 starts rolling around and we start seeing this market really do what it's going to do. So.
Yeah, that's what we were talking about with one of my good friends yesterday. That is one of the toughest and most not challenging, but is testing us. Even we're talking like, like, do I really want to stake my hex for that 10%? Or because average, I think if you stake it for a year, you get about 15 to 17%. And I'm like, do I want to lock that money for? I know it's in financial terms, when you have a bigger amount it sounds good, but when you have a fluctuation of the price itself, then how I'm gonna convince myself and how I'm gonna convince other people to do the same thing? You know what I mean? It's like,
don't make the same mistake a lot of people made in the last market cycle. There's nothing wrong with staking hex. I mean, you can roll a monthly stake, Norbert, on Pulsechain. The fees are so
on Pulse, yes. On Pulse, yes.
You could just keep that rolling, and that'll earn you between the 8 and 10% too. And that way, at least you're somewhat liquid. If you see the market getting a little bit of frothy, you could decide to not roll that month, and to see if you could maybe get a little bit out of your position. But yeah, this is the great thing about Hex. You are in control of how long you stake, how much you stake. This is all in the control of the user's hands. Unlike, where you're forced in like a year-long stake. Like even ICOSA will put you in at a minimum of 3 months or 6 months or a year. Like with Hex, you're in complete 100% control. And I love that about Hex, that you get to pick and choose when you want your stake to go in and come out. And so it's a beautiful thing. I mean, for me, obviously, most of you guys know I'm very short term with my stakes. We do have long ones, and that's because when we first got in the community, you know, we bought into the whole staking ladder 5555. But since, you know, we've been putting some pretty heavy money into the system, it's, you know, more on the shorter time frame is what we want to stake our Hex, because we want to be able to take profits when the time comes. Like I want to, you know, when 2024 comes, if there's a left translated cycle, I want to be able to take some profits. If there isn't, great. I want to ride that into 2025. I want to be able to take some profits. Like we're not going to go up for 10 years. We're going to go up for a year, maybe 2 years. Like let's get some money. Let's get it in the bank account. And then when Hex falls again, we'll come back in and we'll buy some again. So, I mean, that's my thoughts.
Agreed.
If we could reach some, you know, like I would be even happy for a more stable kind of price. Let's say a 10 cents
you can buy
or 20
USDC
cents
for that, Norbert.
Yeah, I know, but they're gonna give you what, you know, like in a year, you're not gonna make that much on it. And as you know, inflation is what they telling us.
Yes.
Is like they say it's like, oh, it's 7%, it's 10%. No, any government gonna give you, open up the books and tell you like, oh, hey guys, look how badly we screwed up this year. You know, they're not gonna tell you the real numbers. So in my eyes, if you look around, for me, the real inflation is about 15-20% year on year. I would say average. If you look around all the countries, sorry about the music. So if you put your money into any like stocks, you know, more or less risky kind of thing, that's gonna give you what, 8% a year. So I'm 8% still shorter.
Right, on average.
On average, yeah, on average
is doing okay. That's
that's another thing. Yeah, the stock market has to do okay to get that 8% a year average. So yeah, I strongly believe that what you're doing, guys, when you reach that level, property is a fantastic option. But I still believe that we have to fish for properties to obviously, you know, this 100 times better than me. But I had this discussion with my wife and some friends around recently that you can't just buy a property and then
this is correct.
thinking like, oh, sit on it, and then, oh, it's 5 years time, it's going to worth more. No, because the inflation, it takes a chunk of it away. And then 5 years time, if you sell the property, America is facing this big problem at the moment. Families are not able to change properties because the interest rate would be you know, much worse for them if they would sell this one and go for another one. So that is not happening for them. And you have to add value to that property in order to make money. Because if you don't, then I buy that flat, and 2 years time I sell it. In 2 years time, the value of that flat is going to be probably higher, but I can get only the same thing in another street, which is going to be either similar size or a little bit smaller even.
Yeah, unfortunately for you guys,
if you're buying as an investor compared to like buying a house for yourself, because you have other things to factor in, like tax incentives. I mean, I haven't had a taxable burden for years, and I've done that all legally because the real estate that I bought offset any of the money that I made. So there's a lot of things to factor in other than your interest rate and some of those things. One book that I'd have, in fact, do I have it here? I'll find it here in a second if I can. But there's a book called I think it's called When Money Dies, and it's about the economic situation in Zimbabwe and the inflation and how it just destroyed the economy. And it was cool because the author outlined things that you could do to hedge your risk and to put yourself in a more optimal position. Whereas most had no idea what to do. And one of the ways is to try to get cheap debt. If you can get cheap debt in a high inflation type of environment, then that can largely be inflated away. You can imagine if you got a loan for $500,000 for a property, and that loan in 5 years, is now technically worth more like $250,000. Well, you just made an incredible deal in dollar terms, because that your dollar goes half as far in a 5-year time horizon, so you could go pay it off with, it's like a 50% discount on the debt in a lot of respects. So lots of ways to manage it.
And the good part is, Norbert, is that both me and Dane have gotten really good at finding and sourcing really good deals. And even the guys in our group, we have over 100 members in our group. There's a bunch of them in there, man. They're beasts. They find apartment buildings at 50, 60 cents on the dollar, that cash flow, and they raise, they do syndications and funds. And so, people can invest and get, anywhere from 15 to 20% on their money. I mean, that's yield in crypto terms, right? And it's just about, getting really good at sourcing the deals, getting really good at finding cheap money. And the good news is that, that's what we've been dealing with, even before we got into crypto. Me and Dane have done stuff even a little bit outside of real estate, like we invest in oil wells, developments, and, because the cash flow pushes off and the harboring of tax. So there's many ways to skin the cat, but we are building a community that way when it comes time to really offset some of these profits, we're able to park some of that money maybe into an apartment syndicator, or maybe park that money into a mobile home fund that someone is raising that is going to be giving you 20% on your money. So it's, I feel like, man, marrying these two asset classes together in the right way can be the most significant thing you did financially in your whole entire life. It's lining up really nicely. You're muted, Dane.
Thank you very much. I found the book. It's called When Money Destroys Nations by Philip, Haslam. Russell Lambert. Great book. I heavily recommend going and reading it. It's not a very, it's not a very big read, but it provides a pretty unique perspective, at least for me, on inflation and tactics, and how it not only destroys a nation, but how you can try to save yourself. And one of the big takeaways is, like, if you can get out when you see a storm coming, then you should get out, and we want to prep ourselves for all outcomes.
Yes.
Yep.
Agreed. We lost Norbert. That tends to happen because he's always on his cell phone walking around.
He's on the go. Let me pull up. There might be some interesting entry points on some of this stuff. We'll see if the sizzle's dying down a little bit here or not. Let me drag this one over.
Are you talking about like on
sorry, my wife called and then internet cut off.
Oh, you got to answer that call, bro.
Yeah, of course. I love her sweet voice. I hope one day you're gonna meet her. She's such a fantastic person.
Happy wife, happy life.
Yeah.
True in many respects. So we're starting to see, we've been talking about the last few days. I would argue this is the most interesting thing going on Pulsechain right now. The whole PDI situation is fascinating to watch. There hasn't been a good entry point. In the last, this is the daily chart. So this is almost like 2 weeks here. In my opinion, I didn't want to buy any of this. I wanted to see a nice clean pullback before considering getting in. And we're starting to see some of these indecision candles. Now, once again, I'm no chartist expert, but we're starting to see some of this. Maybe we'll see some pullback here. The PDI guys are on full shield mode at this point. So we'll see if they can outpace the sellers. But there might be some opportunity here. I'm looking at the teddy bear chart. Nothing goes straight up forever. This chart is freaking wild. You're seeing a little bit of sell-off today. I'm curious if this one retraces or what it does. But gosh, the liquidity's thickened up real nice on this. It was really close to $1 million when I looked earlier this morning. That's an interesting one I'm paying attention to. And then the Atropa chart, they've got a little bit of indecision here. You're seeing this candle sell down a little bit.
Doji candles.
Yeah. And so I don't know. It'll be interesting to see. Nothing goes up forever. In my opinion, we're still not out of the bear market, although I feel like the energy's changing. I could be wrong, but man, it's cool to see these these guys, you know, it's cool to see these guys with these types of charts pumping things, shielding things. I think, frankly, a lot of this meme stuff is going to lead us out of the bear market and into the bull, and we need it. We need it. We need the casino along with other stuff to be able to make some moves. And I've even seen some of the guys on Twitter, some of the ETH guys, tweeting about how they're coming over and buying some of this stuff, and so it's cool. Yeah, it's exciting.
Norbert, you got any of this stuff?
Well, I'm really hoping that the next step is gonna be, because think about it, I'm not sure what these projects are about. You know, what's the use case, and you know what they offer, and you know stuff like that. But I was a DGen before, and you know when you find these gems, let's say these things, and then you invest, you put some money on it, and then you join Telegram, and seeing all these posts like meme posts, you know, like a guy hugging a rocket, you know, and then flying to the sky and things like that. Oh yeah, we go. Like think about like the um, the the mixture of the people in that group, you know, like what kind of individuals they are, you know, what kind of financial level they are, what kind of jobs or income they have, what kind of friends they have, what kind of mentality they have. I really really hope that we can catch somehow. I think that would be a good catalyst to catch somehow the bit more sophisticated, a bit more clear thinking person who's got his finance together, he's got his shit together, you know, he's not struggling with money. He can or he or she can look at his financial position and say, look, I have like, I don't know, 20K savings, why don't I just put 5K in it, you know, and then you know make a wise decision, and then use the protocols, and then put some money here, yeah, that earns me yield, that when I'm get that yield, I redistribute it, I buy a little bit of this, you know, oh, I build up more, oh, because I've done that I got a free airdrop, you know, these kind of individuals. And then hopefully when they accept these ETFs, then we're gonna have the family offices and the big money coming in. Because right now, if you look at the chain analytics, it's just like money circulating right now. So you sell your XRP, and then you hear that you know this Dorco, Corco, whatever is going up, and then you buy some of those. And I was that person too before, you know, like when the bull market started. I don't know when you started crypto, but I started in end of 2020, something like the beginning of. I don't remember exactly, but things started going really really high, you know, like, and whoever told me anything on YouTube, you know, like, oh hey, you know, this is gonna be cool, and yeah, here we go. 500. Yeah, I mean,
Let's
take my
go.
money. Because of the greed, you know, and then the lack of knowledge I had at that time, and the immaturity, let's say. But I'm hoping that it's gonna change, because right now it's nice to see green candles, but I would like to see green candles on fiat. On Fame is coming out on Saturday. It was a good show yesterday. What you done, guys, with Buck? Sorry, Dylan. Um, and you know, I'm hoping that these kind of things gonna be more well known and more promoted. And who knows? BitBoy is trying to rebuild his brand, so maybe he's gonna be our megaphone. You know, like because he was good at that. You know, like he taught me so much shit back in the day. You know, like when I started doing crypto, it's like, hey, it's smart key. You know, like this project is about, and then I was like, oh yeah, this sounds amazing, man. And went online and then bought some of it straight away.
Yeah, BitBoy, if you're listening, we'll welcome you to Pulsechain with open arms. We need Master Schiller now that Richard is hiding from the SEC. Welcome, BitBoy. Oh man, no, yeah, I think it's fun. You see the meme stuff, which you know, which can run hard for little money and big money too. Once it gets big enough, if you feel comfortable committing larger amounts of money to something like that. And then you have the other tools with a lot of utility. And this is one of the fascinating things. In fact, I hear Richard playing in my brain a lot, where Richard talked about, you know, a lot of the time in crypto, it was the stuff that that didn't make any sense that ran the hardest. You know, like SHIB and Doge are great examples of that. And there's been so many people that have tried to tie real world assets to crypto, and those things tend not to do particularly well, which is fascinating. And so, yeah, I want to make sure I'm not overthinking things too much, and making bets where, you know, where you feel confident. Yeah, it's fun.
Yep. Agreed.
Yeah. Oliver says TFSI is looking really good.
Yeah.
Well, let's have a look at it, Oliver. I will pull it up.
That's a very well-known German engine, TFSI.
Let's see. TSFI.
I think if you hold TFSI, is that one of those tax tokens for Hex? I feel like you get Hex as a reward, but I don't know. I've not done enough research. I could be wrong about that.
Yeah, I'm not sure on that one. Let's have a look.
Because it stands for like T-Share Financial System or something like that. It's something T-Share.
I found it. Let's pull it up. All right. There we go. Yeah, you're not lying. I mean, it's looking pretty strong here. Yeah.
Ripping.
It's looking strong. It's fun, man. It's fun right now. If we go, in fact, let's go. We'll just go to Pulsechain in general. I mean, some of the stuff is running. Let's do in the last like 24 hours. Let's see where the biggest runners are. Jeez, look at this. These couple of memes. FBI is a new one that's running. They even have a pair of teddy bear, which is that's pretty interesting.
I'm trying to pull it up with the liquidity.
I like it. I like the strategy in that respect. I mean, it's been really interesting to see the last thing you wanted to be tied with over the last 3 months was Pulse. It just drug everything down. Like you wanted to be paired with other things. It's interesting to look at. And man, like I'm telling you, it's pretty fascinating. We look at Pulse. We look at in the last 24 hours. I mean, everything here pretty well is a meme coin. Even have a Jack coin. Compliments to or head nod to Jack Levin there, sir.
Yes, that's exactly who.
Yeah. But I'm telling you guys, I mean, I think in time and then like this, I'm telling you, this tends to be like a pretty common trend after we see the other stuff here that's ran. Most of these, like I said, pretty well all this stuff from what I could tell from our quick pass is a meme. And then once you get down to stuff that and I guess this is debatable, but something like Hex is the next thing to pop up here and relatively strong performance. Last 24 hours up 20%. I saw KDP was tweeting and she's like, nobody sell at these levels. We want nice things. We're with you on that, Katie. Let's hold
look at
guys.
There's one that really fascinates me. It's like something mutual fund or mutual bond.
I saw that one. Let's see.
This is a fascinating chart. Watch, pull it up.
The Treasury bill one?
Not the Treasury bill. It's like Pulsechain Mutual Fund, or I could pull up Deck Screener and find it. I can barely see your screen.
Oh, mine's pretty small. I need to zoom in.
Let me pull up. Okay. It might not be mutual. Watch, scroll down. Oh, there it is. First Pulse Mutual Bond. Can you click on that chart? The First Pulse. This is a very fascinating chart. And if you guys in the comments know what this asset is, I'd be very curious to know. Watch, it launched and it hit up over $40,000 and then just completely got decimated.
Mm-hmm.
So what is the purpose of this coin? Why did it go to over $40,000? What?
I think it's just a rug. I mean, look at it. There's no liquidity anymore. I think it's just a rug.
You think it's just a rug? Maybe that's potentially what it was.
1, 2, 3, 4,
I guess
5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So we're on day 10 of this pair being live, from what I could tell here from Deck Screener. I mean, 3 days, fourth day rug.
Just it's phenomenal that it reached over that 40,000. I guess you can take a token, and if you know how to manipulate it right with liquidity, yeah, I guess you can take it to any price.
Yeah, and
fascinating.
I think you have to look. I think you have to look at it more in multiples. So from like the bottom of this candle to the top here, I mean, it's only like a 10x.
Good point too. But I mean, they push it to the price of beyond Bitcoin's price is what's fascinating to me.
Sure.
You know what I mean? It's like, so we could just make up numbers and we can have a token that would go to $1 million, maybe. Like what? Like what? How do they do that? I need to learn a little more how liquidity works in the early days, how they set the price, how they can push up the price. This is some stuff I need to do a little more research on and some understanding, just for my own knowledge, because it does fascinate me, this token.
Yeah, Urban Productions. Our criminal is using coins to launder money, perhaps so.
Oh man, that's been happening since crypto's inception back in 2009.
Right.
This is nothing new.
Right. So there's some interesting things out there. I mean, and you guys give us your feedback in the comments. And I've been saying this to our group. I mean, just about at least during the last few years in the bear market, anytime I've bought a chart that looked like this, I've regretted it. Every single time a chart looked like this, regretted it. Chart looked like this, regretted it. Every single time. At least if you're buying now. So, I mean, what are you guys thinking? Are you guys bullish still on PDI, TSFI, Atropa, Teddy Bear? I mean, would you buy right now? I'm curious. What are you guys thinking? Everyone will say, yeah, go ahead and buy because they already bought.
Exactly. They got in down there at that last red candle.
Right. Oh, man.
Good. Nothing else you guys want to come on today? I'll drop the link again in the chat. Feel free to come on and rap with us. We'd love to interact with all you guys.
And if you guys missed the show yesterday, I'm telling you guys,
that was one of the lessons I learned in the last bull market.
Go ahead, Norbert. Might be a little lag. You're good.
No, yeah, a bit of lag. Yeah, that was going back to your point that if you would buy any of these things, not even with the 6-foot pole, I wouldn't touch them, because that's what I learned. It's just FOMO, like it's nothing else. Randy, when I phoned Randy Hilarski, he was one of the better person to put me on the more mature thinking kind of person path. Like he was like, look, guys, if I find a project, I do my what do they do? What do they say? Do your own research. So when I do my own research, I go to the Telegram. Like I said before, the Telegram tells you a lot about a project, what kind of people are in them, what the investors, what the mentality and stuff like that, what's the financial situation. Also the funders, who are those guys, what they're doing, what's their aim here, what they're trying to achieve. That's the second good point to do. And since then, I'm going for those projects. I'm very positive about Hex, Pulsechain. Even though Pulsex is down, it's gonna come back. I'm sure. It's as you could see before. I think they were saying like we did. Hex went from like really low, like a couple of cents, all the way to 30 cents in a matter of like a couple of months, which was crazy. So I'm sure we could do the same thing with PulseX. It just has to come that sort of use case, that sort of function, which would make the people and make it more appealing for the people. But another thing is, I rather use these protocols, and then whatever I earn, even if it's a bear market, but I still earn something, and it's something, rather than just buy something and hoping that it's gonna go up. But I'm not sure if you heard about this guy or watch his show. His name is Adam on Viber Finance. I commented on one of his videos last time that he should come on our show, but I don't know the time difference. He's in the US somewhere. He's very down to earth person and very genuine. I like him, so he would be a good addition to our Friday shows.
Yeah,
I'm not sure if he's gonna make it, but yeah. He talks about these things, that what you Dane were mentioning earlier, that if you have enough time to do these things and go on Pulsechain and find these P Aave and P whatever tokens, then is a place to make money. but for me, it's just number one, I don't have the time, and number two is I learned that it's all about FOMOing. Like I rather pick a couple of decent projects, put my money in, and then just work for me, please. And then I come, have a look what's going on, and then like we discussed last time, that make some plans. Okay, at this time the profit I take, I buy this one, that one, but it's more like a machine, like just doing in out in out in out all the time, not looking the charts. Which one is the next one's gonna pump? I'm gonna make like whatever.
Dane, you're muted.
Thank you. I am not paying very good attention to the mute button. I think there's a lot to be said about about things that you feel like that you feel more confident in, right? Like I certainly, especially at these points, I wouldn't feel confident throwing a large sum into like a PDI or a teddy bear or a TSFI, a Tropa. But I would feel much more comfortable. For me, once again, this isn't financial advice. You got to do your own due diligence, see what you feel good about. But I feel a lot more comfortable, looking at like, for instance, the Pulse chart and the price right now. Like it's very near a bottom instead of buying big giant green candles, and and that's what everything's built on. So a lot to be said about risk profile and how to go and allocate there. Yeah, it's fun to see. Well, apparently, Rick is the only one that's buying more PDI, TSFI, Teddy Bear, Tropa, and whatnot. Everybody else is silent on their adding to their bags. So maybe that's a top signal there, Rick. Who knows? Hey, no, and I'm just joking. I'm happy for you guys that are up. I think it's cool to get some wins for Pulsechain. We're here for it. And I'm rooting for you guys. I hope it goes awesome. I am not particularly interested in being your exit liquidity at this point, but we're happy for you guys. I think it's great.
It's funny when buying PulseX and Hex is the contrarian move.
I know, right?
Like, how did that happen? Like, buying Pulse is contrarian now?
I agree. Of course, I bought some teddy bear. Yeah, I hope you win, Ted. I think that's great, man.
Yeah, man. Teddy bear for Ted. It's
That's
fitting.
right. Oh man. But yeah, I'm, like I said, really excited. So for you guys that missed yesterday, Fame is launching tomorrow. There's a Spaces that Buck will be putting on with Dylan in tandem. Dylan's on here. Welcome, Dylan. Shout out to him. He's been great coming on our shows and talking us through how those protocols work. And I'm telling you guys, I think this could really add to like the FOMO aspect on Pulsechain. You have it with the memes going on right now, which is cool. And man, we could get it with some of the bigger boys with Pulse,
Exactly.
PulseX and Hex. You can go and short and long those on Fame, and there will be some other assets. Sounds like Bitcoin and Ethereum eventually on there that people can come and speculate. And I'm excited, man. It'll be fun. It'll be fun to see people. It'll be fun to see general market sentiment. I'm really interested to be tracking, what are the big wallet holders? Are they going short? Are they going long? Where's their sentiment at? We can kind of try to gauge some things from that. So yeah, it's exciting. I'm really excited.
Yeah, now there is a function on Dex Screener that you can see what some of the top whales are doing in certain projects apparently. Dex tools or Dex Screeners. I got confused the two, but I heard it yesterday in one of the videos. They were saying there's an extra added function, either Dex tools or Dex Screeners. You can see what they're doing. But have you looked at the because that's what I wanted to discuss with you guys last time, because you have more this business kind of mindset, yeah? You're not chasing like shiny objects. If you look at the fiat protocol, I understand that you can deposit some and then you can borrow, yeah? And in the US is a very well-known system which Kiyosaki and Trump, they were using, that they will keep borrowing, and other individuals, they keep borrowing against the asset, and then whatever money they make, they don't pay tax on it. But it's not the tax thing I'm going to talk about. But I was thinking that if you get that the APR, the borrow APR, I think Pulsechain was one of the worst, but then on the other ones is more favorable, like 3% or something like that.
Yeah, it's
So
pretty cheap right now. Yeah.
my thinking is, if I get that, I could use that money and go on PHUX, for example, and then put that money to work, and then obviously you're gonna make much more, and then you can just pay it back and then keep the difference. Am I correct to say that that is a feasible option?
It is.
Absolutely. In fact,
Absolutely.
that's not to put words in Dylan's mouth, but that's one of Dylan's, if I'm not mistaken, that's one of the strategies that he's really enjoying right now. Is you can go and borrow against your assets, and then put them in like the LP pools, for instance, and have an arbitrage opportunity there. You want to make sure that you're wise about how you do that, to make sure you're managing your health factor on fiat when you're borrowing, and things of that nature, so you don't get liquidated. But yeah, that's a very viable way to go and do things. There's some more management things. I've got I personally don't find myself feeling real comfy with the idea right now, and so I haven't done that. But that's also due to largely my lack of desire to do a lot of crypto management. So yeah, lots of cool games that you could play. Yeah, a little arbitrage for you.
That's called cackle.
That's what, like PHUX, you just put your things in, let them work, do their things, dance with each other, and that's all. And one day you're just gonna cash out. But the this misconception that impermanent loss and stuff like that, yeah, is existing. But if you look at it, what sort of yield you're making, I think is way outweighing the risk itself, unless anything is gonna go like pretty down. And we are so down that from here I'm at the point that if we go lower, I couldn't even care less. If we go higher, and then I'm happy days. Maybe I can just give back my uniform at work, but and change it my top to a Ralph Lauren shirt or whatever, but to wear it on a daily basis. But yeah, I think it's a good option to just pair them, because otherwise, what else you gonna make money? Like you either go hard on these risky, like meme tokens. You have the safe option with Hex, let's say about 15% a year. But that's obviously depends on the fluctuation of the price itself. But and then yeah, Hedron Icosa, the yield dropped so hard that I just took half out. I still keep half in Hedron Icosa to earn me something, because it's better to have like more exposure on different platforms. But I took half of it out, put it into PHUX, and no regrets there. It's just generating me, I don't know, not that much, like $5 a day. I'm not that wealthy, but at least it's $5 a day. Like.
Yeah, and some of the pools on PHUX are still pretty juicy, even with it having been out, for a considerable amount of time.
Yeah.
I mean, it's pretty remarkable. Even if you just look at, for instance,
Look, you know what I'm excited about, Dane? Look at the CST pool.
yeah,
Look at the liquidity now.
They're almost to 1.5 million. That's
Let's
pretty
go,
remarkable,
bro. Let's go.
Let's
That means we can come in now with an okay sized bag and not have too much slippage.
Geez, and look at that, 40 to 96% on your stables. That's wild.
Yeah, dude, let's go. I mean, it is the protocol like this, coupled with the native stablecoin together, is what made it work. Like without this, it wouldn't have incentivized the liquidity. And it may have happened over a longer period of time, but because Fux was here, it literally sped up the development of CST stablecoin and the usage of it. I mean, this is amazing. I think I'm going to give CST a test run this month on a little small bag to give it a try. But I mean, this is really exciting stuff, man. It is, working together that's going to give us that adoption and what we need. So, man, super excited. Hats off to Dylan and Buck on this one, man, because now you are allowing other protocols to grow and flourish inside the Pulsechain community.
Yes, it is really freaking cool to see. We're excited about that. And this is fair point. So the thing we're excited about with Fame is you can go stake your Fame tokens and earn a portion of the fees from the people
Yeah, I won't be
leverage
doing
trading.
leverage.
I'm not real anxious to go and leverage trade myself. That'd be a great way for me to lose all my bags. And I know that about myself.
Yeah.
So yeah.
I don't
That's,
leverage trade or do meme coins. I don't do either or, really.
yeah, we're
And
not
there's nothing wrong with doing a little bit of memes and putting a little bit of money here and there. We don't have nothing. We're not against it. In fact, we're glad it's happening. We love to see that.
Yeah, we want you guys here. I think it's great.
Yeah, we want that part of the ecosystem to flourish and make you guys make a crap ton of money. Because back to Rick's point, I saw it earlier that he could go and take profit in his meme coins, or maybe it's PDI, and then bring it into Pulse. And you'll see that happen eventually and more as we're moving along. And so we encourage it. We want it. But we're just saying, as meme coins is bringing a certain type of investor or, an investor profile, I guess I'd say, where these other protocols like Fame, Fiat, will bring in another type of investor profile. Liquid loans is another one, and so it's all around good that you need to go after every type of investor profile in crypto to bring them over into the Pulsechain ecosystem. So it's amazing. I mean, we're loving it, and it's never made us more bullish on Pulsechain. I mean, even with all the garbage that's going on with the SEC.
Yeah,
So
we want everybody. Corey nailed it. We want everybody. We're here for it. We are here for it. Urban production. I won't be wearing clothes when I make it. Believe me, naked all day. Make sure to take a video and post it to Twitter, sir.
Unbanned Productions. Are you male, female? Are you who and what are you?
That's funny. Oh man. So yeah, lots of cool things coming. I'm telling you guys, the Fetch Oracle should be out sometime this month. Rosh Hashanah's tomorrow. If you're if you feel
Today's
like
the
those
15th.
Jewish holidays influence the market, that's tomorrow. I know that Waters Above, it seems like he's kind of the resident Jewish holiday individual in at least that a lot of people in our community look to. He's still calling for potentially a pretty big event tomorrow, tomorrow, or the next day, right? One of the next 3 days.
Supposedly the 16th, what I heard, but maybe it is over the course of 3 days. Because 17th is the end of the Jubilee. That's the end of your Jubilee is the 17th. And so, man, yeah, we get through September, bro. I'm telling you, it's we're gonna have a period of time where it's gonna be nice. I really do. I believe that. Not financial advice, and but I feel like it's going to be October is going to be a good month. I think not just in crypto, but all the way around in business and just in life in general. It's always my favorite time of the year. I've mentioned that on the show a few times because that's just you're going into the holidays. The weather's starting to change. It's just a good time. People are more happier.
Yeah, that's what I wanted to mention. If you think about it, people are going to stay more at home. So that means that they're going to sit down more at the desk, open up the computer, watch more videos and things like that. So
people like spending money
that's what I was doing
during that time. It's like they don't mind opening the wall up just a little bit more during the holiday season.
Right. In fact, everyone might you might actually do your family some good shilling crypto to them this holiday season.
I think it's be a good
to the last few.
Last Thanksgiving would have been a very bad idea to bring in your family in the crypto.
It might be painful holiday season for some
then grandma at
the
dinner, she might throw gravy in your face if you shilled grandma Hex last Thanksgiving. But this year, if you shill her some good quality assets, it's possible grandma might do okay, and you might get a better Christmas present. So yeah, this could be a different scenario than last year's
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, Rick says forgot about LL. Hope they launch soon. Yeah, so a couple of things that we found out. So they've got to come out with a fetch Oracle first, so they have good data to be able to run their platform off. That's supposed to be out for all intents and purposes this month.
Yeah.
So we should see that this month, and their intention, from what I understand, is to launch next month. And once the Oracle's out, I mean, that's when the tide's going to go out, in my opinion. That's where we're going to see who's wearing pants and who's not, who can actually launch at this point, who can't. There's been a lot of people saying they've been waiting for an Oracle and they've been waiting for whatever. We'll see who's actually here and can launch. I'm hopeful.
There's no more excuses after that.
No.
Like, what's your excuse now? Oh, I'm waiting for the bear market. Oh, come on, man. You're in October now. Like, agreed. No, this is no more excuses.
Agreed.
That's a really good point. That's what I wanted to ask you guys. What do you think? Because I don't hear too much. So what's the other project which is similar to liquid loans but is based on Pulsechain? I always forget the name of it.
Power City with their earn.
Power City, that's the one. I don't hear too much from them. And I was thinking, like, maybe it's because Pulsechain dropped so much in value that they kind of feel uneasy to launch the project until it gets a bit higher value.
Other part of the project they can launch.
Yeah.
The Watt system.
Yeah. Do you know about the Watt system, Norbert?
Yeah, apparently you get some, if you sacrifice for Power City, you get the Watt token, and then you can
that was the original,
similar like staking.
Yeah, that was the original project. The earn was an add-on.
Yeah, and you make fees from everything. So they're building tons of stuff. They have their Pixel Park NFT platform they're building. They've got
that one I know. Yeah, that one I'm very bullish about. Yeah.
Yeah, they've got the fees from their Portal X swap. I mean, they're building a lot of stuff. It's a massive undertaking for their team. And so, yeah, I mean, it sounds like they're building. It sounds like they're coming. I don't know. I haven't heard timeframes for them. Have you heard anything about that, Corey?
I have not. No, I have not. I knew they need the Oracle. I know that. The last I've heard really much of anything, bro, which is not like the greatest news, is KDP leaving the team. KDP's now kind of just doing her own thing. She's doing what she was like basically an ambassador or a professional shiller, I guess, if you will, as part of Power City's team. So she's no longer with them, and I don't know, man. I haven't seen much of, I guess, who else is over there? Jesse. So Jesse would be one of the ones who should be out there talking about, what the roadmap and when they're launching, because I think he's more the ambassador now.
Yeah. It's just hard when there's not a lot of interesting updates, like there's only so much you can say, right? Like, oh, we're still coming, guys. We're still coming.
Yeah, but you still check in with your audience.
Yeah, no, I agree.
With your investors, you check in with your investors, and even if the update's the same as it was 3 months ago, you let them know. That's just
Agreed.
Or just something related, something like an interesting article about NFTs or what could be the potential use case. I was thinking about this the other day. Imagine how not primitive, but the better word to use is outdated our current system is right now. Just a simple example. My line of work is we do call outs. We look after people, properties certain ways, yeah. And the way how it works, that the client emails us or call us if they can reach someone over on the line, but normally it's via email. And that email gets picked up by someone, hopefully before their coffee break at 10 o'clock, yeah. And then if that happens, then most likely it goes to another person who knows more about these things. And then I don't know how many hours later, I received an email if I could go and visit that site when I was like already miles away. So I'm like, really? It's 2023. Is that the most efficient way of communication? I was even telling the performance manager, whatever his position is, I said to him, mate, like, I'm in crypto, like you should kind of, because we have like a data section as well in our company, which they go really hard on. So I said to him, like, you should look into these crypto things. And my point is that I'm really hoping that once this system gets adopted, then we can create like a crypto related system when everything is on a blockchain, and everyone, whoever owns that wallet, can see all those transactions. Like you go on DBank or whatever, and you can see exactly what's going on. I don't need to go and wait for an email or type an email. I hate typing, man. Typing is like, it's 2023, man. What do you mean typing, man? Hey, I'm here. Call me back when you have a minute. Voice message. Like I don't have time to like correcting if I misspell and things like that. But what I wanted to come to a point is, sorry, I'm jumping back and forth, is that this is the kind of stuff I'm more looking forward in the future, that crypto gets embedded in our everyday life. And then I think I mentioned to you guys before that somebody discussed this, someone really smart, much smarter than me, that, for example, an NFT can be an all-in document, let's say, or proof that I purchased that property on that day from this person with these kind of details, for that kind of money. And if I own that NFT, that's the only thing I need. I don't need to go to a lawyer. I don't need to sign zillions of paperworks. Like a transaction can be done easy because on a blockchain, you see if you transfer money. And so once we have these kind of things, I think that's gonna be the biggest catalyst for crypto. Until then, it's just gonna be like, oh yeah, look, this one is going up, this one is going up. Let's put some money on it. Let's get some. Give me some. You take some, and then you run away like these monkey memes on Twitter, when they're picking up the bread, and then they run away. This is how I see the crypto market right now. We need more maturity, we need more adoption, and we need something, and it's good for everyone. It makes your life easier, so you can spend times on. I don't have to travel 2 hours to see a lawyer, like stuck in a traffic jam, and then like these kind of things. I think that will be really, really amazing if this gets adopted, let's say, and built in our everyday life.
It's funny you mentioned that, because Power City has a NFT to buy they're supposed to come out with an NFT to buy a small house. It's one of those mini houses that they're when their protocol launches for Pixel Park. It's one of the first NFTs they're going to launch. Is that you buy that NFT, then that's your ownership of the mini house, the small house. And you can sell it, while you're waiting for them to build that little house. And so it'll be interesting. I'm excited for the future. It's gonna be a long time before we have a lot of real world use case. And Dana kind of alluded that earlier. Anytime we try to tie the real world in there, there's always a problem. And because you still have a third party usually in the way. Until we figure out how to cut out that third party middleman and integrate it the right way, we'll see the future of this. It's going to happen. It's a matter of time. Like when my daughter's my age, the world will look way different. That's for sure.
Definitely.
And, Rick, on Mentra, Gerardo said October. He said October. Supposedly the audits are done. But he had done a tweet and said he didn't give a date. So he left that part open, but he said October is going to be interesting was his tweet, and meaning that he's going to be ideally launching Mentra then. Yes, Kaiser, I did. I don't think Dane did. I did because I resonate with some of these protocols because I was a blackjack dealer in the casino for 13 years. And so I'm like, oh, I get to be the house. I like being the house of things. So I did a lot. I did a little, not a lot. I did a little for Pulsepot. So it'll be fun to see that launch. They definitely need the Oracle. Like they're doing sports betting and all this other wild stuff that they need to have direct feeds to the real world to get access to. So it'll be fun to see that stuff kick off. And I know they'll do it because they have launched the B&B. Like if you had SAC for Pulsepot, you got a B&B version of that. And they did that B&B version of that like a year ago. Or
do you think that B&B thing is a rug, or is that just the nature of a bear market?
What's that? The B&B Pulsepot?
Oh, that's been atrocious. Yeah.
I'm not. I mean, my coins are worth like a couple grand over there.
The chart.
Or 1,500. It did like a 20 or 30x thing after launch, and then came down and crashed. It's not a rug. It's still going. The B&B Pulse pot, B&B pot.
Yeah.
It's my coins are worth like. I mean, the last time I checked was like 1,800. So, and I didn't sack very much. Like I didn't sack very much. It ran hard in the beginning because you had Jim Rat Crypto at that time. He was shilling it, and you had like they were doing competitions of gambling competitions in there on the B&B pot. It was insane. Every influencer was in there, and if I'd have been smart, which I effed up. I staked my coins, and when you stake your coins, you have 90 days before you can pull it out. And so I couldn't take advantage of the 30 whatever X it did in the beginning. And I was like, I really effed that one up again.
Sure.
I was like, I learned my lesson. But no, it's definitely not rugged.
I'm not sold on the founder. Yeah, the tire thing was a mess. They had to pull all the liquidity.
I saw that
because there was a problem with the code, and essentially that burnt, I think, half the supply, didn't it, or something like that. And so they're trying to figure out how to like relaunch. Last I heard, I don't know. I haven't been paying that good of attention.
They're doing some kind of NFT to help compensate people. I don't know what that is.
Are they?
I didn't own it, so it's like whatever.
Yeah, I didn't either. I'm not sold yet. Well, yeah, we'll see. Heavily affected. I'm sorry to hear that. Yeah, that was a tough one, and it's tricky. I mean, it's interesting to navigate the waters and see things like that. And truthfully, I mean, people make mistakes, right? Whether they're intended or not. I mean, you could have the best of intentions and make a mistake, and things go kaput. And so you want to be wise about whatever it is, especially in crypto. You want to be wise about what you're betting on and understanding the risks. So yeah, we hope that they turn it around for you, Kaisa. Cool. Well, been a good show today. Is there anything else you want to cover, Corey, before we jump off?
No, I think that's it, man. You all have a beautiful and blessed weekend. Get outside, do something with your family, have fun. And we'll see you next week. It's been a blast this week. I like to see the community and just the overall sentiment kind of turning around. Keep your eyes peeled. Like I said, the 16th is the waters above date. The 17th is the end of the Jubilee year. Get into the next week. It's going to look really, really pretty. I'm excited.
Yep, excited. Cool, guys. With that, I hope you have a great weekend. We'll see you later.
Peace, guys.
All the best. Thank you for